It was sad to read the press release from the Manhattan District Attorney's Office that gave details of the Social Security disability scam allegedly perpetrated by 100 or so retired cops, firefighters, and correction officers. In short, they have been accused of fraudulently claiming one form or another of disability in order to collect payments to which they were not entitled. This would be shameful behavior from anyone, but the thought of former law enforcement and firefighters doing something like this somehow makes it worse. At least for me it does. As I watched the news reports, I saw many of the former cops being led through the corridors of the courthouse, handcuffed and disgraced, their lives and the lives of their families forever changed by their alleged greed and utter stupidity. I saw the news conference where the Manhattan DA's office proudly displayed their latest catch from their latest case. And who could blame them? We all hate government waste, and fraud is probably one of the top 5 reasons for government waste. Pictures of some of the defendants were on display for all to see. In one, a retired cop frolics on a jet ski. In others, the allegedly disabled are seen fishing off the coast of Costa Rica, playing basketball, and posing on a Harley-Davidson. Supposedly, these photos help to prove that they are not disabled. I'm not so sure about that, but that's another story. So what should we do with these folks? Prosecute them, of course, and convince a jury beyond a reasonable doubt that they are guilty of the crimes they have been charged with. If convicted, then send them to prison so a strong message is sent to other potential would-be scammers. Try this, and you too could wind up behind bars. In criminology, this is called deterrence theory. The idea that people watch when other people are caught to see if they get punished. If they are punished, the theory goes, this is usually just enough to dissuade other people from committing crimes in the future. This is one of the main reasons why we are so tough on crime. As a society, we want to send that message. That's why there are so many young men in sneakers sitting in our nation's jails and prisons. Catch them, convict them, lock them up, and send that message to all potential would-be criminals. On the same day the story about the Social Security scam came out, there was another news story. For many, though, this one was far less interesting than the one about the retired cops, firefighters, and correction officers who had been locked up. J.P. Morgan Chase, the nation's largest bank, agreed to pay nearly $2 billion in fines to settle claims by the government that had failed to report the activities of Bernard Madoff. You remember him. He was convicted of bilking investors of nearly $50 billion in what has been called the largest Ponzi scheme ever. But that isn't all. During the last year or so, J.P. Morgan Chase has agreed to pay nearly $20 billion in fines, $13 billion alone for their part in the mortgage security scam. In both J.P. Morgan cases, though, no one, that's right, no one, has been arrested or prosecuted. J.P. Morgan Chase simply has to write a check and continue on its merry way. But what about deterrence theory, right? I mean, if we don't punish the players in the J.P. Morgan cases, how in the world will future investment bankers learn to not do bad things? It's simple. They won't. But I guess it's okay, because after all, they are investment bankers. They're not young men in sneakers, and they're not retired cops and firefighters. For Crime and Justice Media, I'm Robert Cacciatore.